Hi there, warm welcome. You're watching Times Now. I'm Meghna Deka. We're going to start the bulletin by thanking you, the viewers, for the faith that you have shown in us. Today, we have the final ratings which have come out of the week which has passed. That was the critical week when very important states went in for polls. Not only did you, the viewers, make Times Now the #1 channel of your choice, Times Now is also the election day leader. This indeed is a vindication of the hard work that our entire team has put in getting for you accurate, informative information and every minute by minute details which are coming in from the ground, which has made you put your trust in us, which is why we'd like to thank our viewers for putting us as the market leaders, for indeed calling us the news election headquarters here only on Times Now. In fact, remember, it was Gujarat elections, Himachal election. You have the numbers on your screens. You can see the way that Times Now kept you #1. Times Now got you the latest election results. And more importantly, it is a credible and very honest coverage of what was happening on the ground, which is why we take this time also out to thank all the people who have been part of the Times Now team week after week, making us #1. Times Now, remember, is now the market leader. When it came to the market during the counting week, we had 40% of the market share. And on counting day, which was 8th of December, you, the viewers, made us the #1 channel of your choice. Times Now was a market leader with 35% of the market share. So it is perhaps apt that I go straight across to Jay Murg, our psephologist, who has a big role to play in the kind of coverage that Times Now, the credible coverage that Times Now could put out for our viewers. Thank you so much, Jay, for joining us. Mr. Rajagopalan is also here, a senior analyst, who gave his very incisive comments and understanding and put the developments into perspective. Remember, it's not just the numbers that we were getting for you, it is an understanding of these numbers. And Jay, you have done a phenomenal job, and today our viewers have put us at the #1 spot and have given us our trust.
Thank you is all that I can say. Institutions are built over a number of years and a number of people toiling behind them. We are all a part and a product of this.
Absolutely. Mr. Rajagopalan, you've been part of it as well. You've been giving us a lot of your insight, understanding, putting a perspective. How was Times Now's coverage as per you? And you are a very senior journalist. You are, of course, going to several other channels as well. You've been watching other channels as well. How was, as per you, Times Now's coverage different from the others when it comes not just to the numbers, but the understanding of what those numbers mean, the stories behind the numbers?
Meghna, the point is Times Now stole the thunder. The reason being, Jay Murug and Times Now team, Rahul Shivshankar, Navika Kumar and others, have given firewall, spectrum, a new varieties of colorful description to the pleasing the eyes of the viewers. Apart from that, Jay Murug's analysis, he himself being a Gujarati, he said spot on. 153, he said 156 it has come. So therefore, my understanding of Times Now is a big thumbs up to Times Now team, because you did wonders. Your imagination, your artful conditions of presentation of the number crunch, or best, especially since I am joining the Times Now since 2006. I have been, with you for more than 15 years. Great hands up and claps to you. The best coverage by Times Now. A big thumbs up and big claps to you.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Rajagopalan. But today, Times Now, I think, is going to clap for our viewers for putting this faith and trust in us and our entire team. Madhav, he's, of course, leading the Delhi Bureau. You and, of course, Aishwarya is also joining us. But, Madhav, it's important for us also to put out a large cheer for our technical teams, for the production teams as well, because what we can see on our screens, the kind of graphics, the kind of presentation, the spectrums that we have put up, the web designing, that is something which has also stolen the thunder of some of the other channels perhaps, because of the entire presentation, because it was state of the art, never seen before, technical tools which was employed this time.
Well, absolutely. And Meghna, there's a reason that Times Now is called the India's election news headquarters. It's because we've been really setting the benchmarks for the past several years when it comes to election news and coverage. And, I have to start with the contribution of reporters such as Aishwarya, who spent close to 2 months in Gujarat, and several other members of our team who've spent weeks on ground, trying to analyze which way different communities are actually casting their vote, what are the issues on ground that are affecting them, and how the campaign has impacted on the various communities, regions, etc. on ground. That's a very, very important part of trying to piece together bit by bit what really is happening. Because remember, in an election, it is like building blocks. You have to look at each and every segment and how it is actually working out to build a larger picture. And that's eventually, of course, as you rightly mentioned, our production team, our output desk, all of them who have bricked the bar of that larger picture and presented it in a very novel fashion for our viewers to grasp it easily, for them to lucidly understand what exactly is happening. All of that is certainly a matter of presentation as well. So from our reportage down to our production team, very big thumbs up to all of them in terms of what we've been able to bring to our viewers and how Times Now, with its own brand of political coverage, has managed to actually break it down first right here on the channel.
Well, in fact, on your screens, remember, Times Now does not believe in slicing and dicing the numbers and putting it out for you. We are going to put it out en toto. What you can see on your screens, that is the entire counting week, which led up to the 8th of December. This is, remember, the time when Times Now was putting out the exit polls for Gujarat, for Himachal. Not just that, we were also covering the Delhi MCD polls, putting out exit polls for that, covering the election day of the last few phases of Gujarat as well as of Delhi MCD polls, and then finally it led up to the counting day. How is it that you, the viewers, perceived our coverage? It's the greatest validation for our entire team to see these numbers there on your screens. You can see Times Now's market share was 40%. This is the entire counting week which led up to the 8th of December. There are other channels, as you can see, which stood at 24, at 18 and at 10%. Now we are putting out the numbers as they have been given up by BARC, because this is the benchmark which is given for the channels to have an understanding of how you, the viewers, have perceived us. Of course, along the decades, you have always put your faith in Times Now, making us the election news headquarters. But these numbers are a validation of the hard work which has gone into it. And this number that you can see on your screens, this is from the counting day, which is the 8th of December. As you can see, the market share of Times Now, and this is one of the hardest ones to crack, I must say, for the entire team, because people have been working for it literally from months in advance to build up to the counting day, where Times Now stands at 35%. So let me go across to Aishwarya. A big thumbs up to you and the entire team of reporters who have been there. Blood, sweat and toil. I think it's not an exaggeration for all of you, having put in your hard work in Gujarat. Tell us, what happens behind the scene? How hard is it for you? How long do you prepare for an election? What do you need to do on the ground? It's not just the few minutes that you are on air, but the hard work which goes into understanding and giving a perspective in those few minutes that you are on air.
Well, Meghna, the credit goes to the entire team of Times Now and the trust of viewers, of course. But when we hit the ground 2 months before the elections, it was just not the challenge to get the big faces on Times Now from the doors of corridors of the power, but also to crack stories day by day from the state. And we travelled from length and breadth when the entire team of reporters hit the ground also to get the pulse of the voters, especially when we predicted the exit polls that went right on the day of the results was the most relaxing moment of all of us on the ground when we were there and watching those numbers out. Clearly this showcases that how we went on ground, travelled, spoke to a lot of people from length and breadth of Gujarat, Himachal, and of course in Delhi at the MCD elections as well. And that's the result on December 8th when it came out, the numbers came out, and that's the most relaxing point, as I mentioned, for all the reporters. You were speaking off the air as well that the hard work that we have put by travelling across the state for almost 2 months was something that has came out actually true. And now the numbers is speaking in itself that Times Now is #1, and the entire credit goes to the team, just not of the reporters, but also, as you mentioned, of the production, of the assignment, of our editors who have been trusting us and sending us to and believing believing us on those stories particularly which are going way against us, but later it proves to be right. Certainly, this actually had proved, when the numbers are coming out.
Absolutely. It's not just the exclusives that you see on air, but all the moments, the hard work which led up to these exclusives. And Jay, you've played a very crucial role in all of that. I remember we used to sit before exit polls, we sat before the election day, sitting and crunching numbers. How important is it to put out the accurate understanding of the numbers? I'm going back to that because everyone's got the numbers. We all know that on counting day, these are the numbers which are coming in. But how important is it to understand the story behind these numbers? That's where I believe Times Now managed to get the edge, and a lot of it is thanks to you.
No, I mean, I thank again all of you, the entire team. So the data center has been put up, with years of toiling of your production team, as well as a lot of the graphics, the visualizations you see have been built over years. It's not come overnight. So thanks to everybody again. But yes, I think converting data into a story is an art. I mean, not to overstate it, that's the theme of my life. I mean, both my companies, the election company and the software company, actually revolve around the theme that data can be converted to a story. M76 Analytics and VMR both work on, data becomes a story. So yes, it's a journey full of toil, but I believe an equally creative journey. I mean, to share on personal notes, though you would put in 15, 16 hours of work a day inside your office, I don't think I ever felt I was tired. Of course, I would pull Padmaja's leg saying she needs to pay my hospital insurance, but I think you saw the verb, you saw the energy. We were always fully blasting out. So I think we enjoyed it, and Times Now, gave us the place where we can say, we want to build a story out of data. So that was fascinating.
I think that's the beauty of it all. Everyone's got data. It's a story that Times Now could tell beyond the data, to build it all together, to tell you the story on the ground. Accurate and the fastest as always. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. The entire team, a big shout out for the quality of the election coverage. Remember, at the end of it, it is the viewers. Thank you so much for putting your faith, your trust in Times Now, as always, making it and ensuring that it retains the tag of being India's election news headquarters.